To calculate a test statistic for one proportion, the first thing to do is figure out what the sample proportion is. That is, what is the proportion that comes from the sample in the problem. So consider this one. According to a University Center for Logistics Management, 8% of all merchandise sold in the United States gets returned. A Seattle department store sampled 89 items sold in January and found that 9 of the items were returned. So in this case, 9 out of 89 is our sample. So our sample proportion rather. So that tells us that p hat is 9 out of 89, which is approximately 0.10112. Now I want to use as many decimals as I can so that I can minimize any rounding errors when I go to do my calculation. So let me take this out to 5 decimal places. That should be good. Now the second question is, what is our p? Our actual population proportion, or it could be the proportion that we're assuming. So in this case it's given to you and it's in the null hypothesis. P is going to be 0.08. But sometimes you'll have to get that from the actual problem. So in this case, if I were going back to the original problem, I would have said 8% of all merchandise is sold. And that's what we're testing essentially with this sample that we took. So that's where we get the 0.08 from. Now the last thing to do is throw this all into our test statistic equation. So that is p hat, or the 0.10112, minus our p, all divided by, under a square root, you'll have p times q all over n. So of course we said p hat is going to be 0.10112. We're going to subtract 0.08. The next question to answer then is, what is our q? So again, p is 0.08, but q in this case is always 1 minus p, so we'll have 0.92. Our n in this case is 89, of course, so our sample size. So let's plug this into the calculator and see what we get. So be careful, you've probably found out by now, you have to be careful about how you plug things into the calculator. That is, use parentheses to keep everything in the numerator on top, and parentheses to keep everything in the bottom on the bottom. So we'll have 0.08 times our q, which we said was 0.92, and all this is going to be divided by 89. Now the problem with how I've entered this is my calculation, or my calculator, thinks only the 0.08 is under the square root. So I have to start with parentheses and end with parentheses to make sure it knows that I want all of this under the square root in the denominator. So I get a test statistic of 0.7344. So z equals 0.7344. And that's what I would type into here, 0.7344.